It's when fists fly with Big Nige, and welcome to the first Boxing Weekly Roundup. And obviously we're going to change things up a bit. It's only right I introduce two of South London's finest, obviously from a South Londoner, myself. I've got Denzel Bentley, not even super middleweight, obviously soon comes. Middleweight, British champion. And I've got my guy, Ellis Zorro. Lewisham as well. I didn't even know you're from Lewisham, bro. Obviously, I was St. Joseph's.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll cut into that. I went first away still.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so nothing. We'll chop it up still. Obviously, we're just going to give you a quick breakdown of what took place this past weekend. This was dubbed, obviously, the biggest fight in the last 10, some may say 15 years. Terence Crawford, Bud Crawford, I must say, emphatically stopped Errol Spence in the 9th round, it was?
Yeah.
It was the 9th round. And the first thing that came to mind for me was flawless, effortless, and just patient. So I want to pose that question to you. What was you guys' first impression of the fight?
Madness.
Yeah, I was in shock, man. I think it's the best performance I've ever seen. It's the best performance fight I've ever seen.
Swear.
Live and even old fights. I think I mentioned that to you, and you was like, "No, I'm getting excited or something." But I don't think I've seen a better fight. Still,
getting excited. No, I agree.
I don't think I've seen a better
he's a
fight.
Spence guy. I'm a Crawford guy.
That's why I put both of you on, because depending on the result, I wanted to see how you guys would pose your review on it. Obviously, you was there in the studios, and I could tell you tried to keep it cool You tried to keep it cool.
Therefore, I had to work hard to keep the cool.
Yeah.
I was gassed.
Obviously, Amir Khan, he was there doing his thing, and then obviously Carl Frampton, he was in awe. But let's break down the fight, starting with the ring walk, because I don't know about you, man, but when I heard Eminem come out, the man that we were watching, everyone stood up, like lose yourself straight away.
M's a goat. I don't know why guys act like M ain't like that. M's like that, bro.
Yeah, that was like a 20. It was only like a 2-day arrangement, though.
Yeah, because he posted it out on
something on Twitter.
Yeah.
He didn't perform though. I don't know why he didn't perform.
Yeah, he didn't bring up.
It takes a lot though. I think you got to do like
sound and all
that.
Oh, okay.
Maybe like auditioning, and the way it happened, it was like
just
mad.
walk him out, innit?
Yeah, it just happened instantly, so they didn't have time to prepare for an actual ring walk. You know what I'm saying? They got to do all the sound and all that stuff.
No, that was big though. Still,
for real.
That was big still.
In terms of history, Bud Crawford is now the first male fighter to be undisputed in 2 weight classes. He's been in the welterweight division for 5 years now and has stopped all of his opponents. Where would you rank him in terms of the greats now?
What, all time?
No, just obviously in our era, he's the best in our era, no doubt. That's no question.
Yeah, man, I mean that. Obviously, our era don't include Floyd because
it slightly does though. That's what I was going to say.
Floyd come at the end of our era. Like he's been in the game too long. He come from the 90s.
He was, true.
So the 2010s was really his era. So for him to go to 2015, that just showed
he was mocking it.
Basically, you feel me?
Yeah.
That's like 19 years.
For real.
A career. No one does that. Do you know what I mean? But so yeah, you could say Bud is the I think the greatest of our era at this point in time. But you gotta wait till his career is done because you like any little slip up can ruin that for you. Do you know what I mean? So like, for example, you go with Roy Jones. He would have been the greatest of his era if he didn't start doing the madness. And bro, he's still boxing now.
Yeah, but it depends how you measure the greatest of the era, though. On ability, like I think Roy Jones is the best.
But that's what I'm saying.
Ever. But if we're not talking about ability, Roy Jones didn't have the opponents. Do you understand what I'm saying?
He didn't have a dance.
No.
He didn't have. Not like not. He didn't have.
Tony was pretty much his best.
Yeah, no, but
we had Bernard Hopkins.
No, but I don't know if them man are as. Yeah, but who's? Yeah.
I mean, he
Varese,
has no business being up there, bro.
Yeah, but it's the smallest heavyweight, the weakest heavyweight champion
against a super middleweight.
But John Ruiz, it's not like it was like Lennox Lewis or Evander or Mike, even at the time.
It was a small
he was still good enough to win a world title.
No, 100.
On paper,
but then,
but I'm saying on ability, Roy Jones is here. But I'm saying you can't argue his ability, but you can argue who he fought.
His ability is second to none.
Yeah, you can argue who he fought.
Sometimes ability ain't enough. Bro, you get guys on ability are cold and they won't be considered one of the best because of how their career's gone, like in any sport.
Yeah.
But so I think Roy Jones messed up his thing in terms of that. But ability wise, yeah, you're right. He's no one's touching him.
But I don't go on, finish. Sorry.
I say, but like, in my opinion, when you got to mention prime in front of any fighter's name, they're not the greatest of all time, bro.
Yeah,
you can't tell me what a prime Floyd is.
For real.
Floyd's always in his prime. You can't tell me what a prime Joe Karzagi was. He's always in his prime. You know what I'm trying to say? You can't.
That's a good point, actually.
I hear what you're trying to say.
How long is a prime
I hear what you're trying
period?
to say.
Yeah.
I feel like just based on performances though, like I know what you're saying about the prime word, but there are some performances like Floyd's performance against Canelo was another like jaw dropping performance.
All right, then, but so was his performance against Toro Gatti, and that was like a 10-year difference.
Yeah.
Corrales,
But my point is that
Corrales,
they're the three fights that I feel like.
Those, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And that was what?
Whereas the Cotto fight maybe or the De La Hoya fight,
Carter fight was cold as well.
yeah, it was hard. But I'm saying it weren't
That was
as
his toughest-
dominating.
that was his
It weren't as
toughest opponent,
dominating as the Corrales one. It weren't as dominating as the Canelo,
I
as
hear
the
that,
Canelo
but
and the
then
Gatti
you got-
one.
Okay, yeah. In terms of, I mean.
But I know what you're saying. Like he's never had a bad day, has he? Like really.
No, and even if he did, he made it right the next time round and cleaned them, like they said with Castillo and Maidana. All right, let's run it back then, straight away.
My thing with the Crawford thing though and the Floyd
Crawford's
thing,
the
yeah,
GOAT.
is that like
my guy.
No. I'm in agreement. This is what I'm saying. I feel like I don't know. All right, so just some of Floyd's best wins. De La Hoya, who was a little bit past his prime, yeah.
Okay.
I hate that shit.
Hear me? No, facts, just facts.
Yeah.
Like he
Even
weren't
at
like
the
when he
time
was a bit younger fighting Shane Mosley, it was different.
bad boy, yeah.
Who else? Ricky Hatton, but I'm
Was
Corrales.
undefeated-
Hear me? Let me land.
was undefeated
Let me land.
for everything. Bro.
Let me land. No, he's back. I'm backing Terence in this one. Who else? Ricky Hatton, maybe Zab Judah, again slightly past his prime,
Undefeated at the
but
time.
a great fighter. But I'm saying Spence.
actually,
Let me land. There's a few more, I'm sure. Canelo, I think he was undefeated at the time, but
Yeah,
he was a bit. People say he's a bit young. He weren't at his absolute best when he fought Floyd, and he was maybe little bit weight drained. Cool. Cotto, he's good, but whatever. My thing is like I don't know who Floyd has beat who was dominating like Spence. Spence has been dominating for a hot minute.
Yeah.
And he's been a number one prospect for years. Now, the way Crawford dealt with another like Hall of Famer great in their prime where there's no argument, there's no... I don't know if Floyd has done that to anyone. He's beat great challengers, undefeated guys, or household names, but I don't know if he's beat someone who's dominating like Spence.
I hear what you're
And the
saying.
way he beat him,
The mannery, yeah.
fam, he beat him so easily, it just made me feel like that performance tops what Floyd has done.
I hear that,
If I'm honest.
I hear what he's saying
But,
still.
that's
on.
I hate
That's
it.
a-
I
that's a-
hate it.
that's
No,
a
I hate
solid
it. It's
statement
true.
still.
But one quick thing, I can't remember if Zab Judah was undefeated, so please don't hold me to that. I probably was, but I don't know whether that was before or after he fought Costa Zoo. I remember Costa Zoo gave him a beating still. But forget all that. Diego Corrales, 33-0, 30 KOs.
Yeah.
Floyd slapped him.
Yeah.
He did
Easy
still.
work.
But I don't know. Like,
Canelo was dominating, and he was 23 years old at the time. He was undefeated.
do you think?
he was already
do you
a
think,
world champion?
Do you think Floyd beat
Floyd
Corrales?
annihilated him.
Who do you think beat their opponent in better fashion? Crawford beating Errol or Floyd beating Corrales?
It's hard
the way Terence beat my man Errol,
a question,
they
no,
look
no.
like they weren't even meant to be in the same ring, bro.
It looked like a pro and an amateur.
Bro, that's what it
Even
looked
with
like.
Corrales, but you got to remember, different times. We're watching this live, so emotions are different.
I hear that.
At the time I'm watching Corrales, we already know what's going on. We just want to see how we battle him. You feel me? We just want to see it. The same as one of my favorite fights, like all time, I can run it back 100 times. I wasn't even born, bro. Leonard versus Hagler. Bro, I talked to my coach and he would tell me, no, Hagler won that, man. He watches it back, he says, no, you know what, Leonard won it. But it's different times. At the time, your emotions are involved.
Yeah, but
It's
can I
different.
say,
You're
like-
watching it with emotion.
Yeah, anyway, yeah,
See
go
this Crawford fight, man's watching it with pure emotion. Like, we're big fans of these guys.
And we're in the moment.
We're in the
'cause this
moment.
Is our era.
This is our era. This is our great fight. Just like we was in the moment for Floyd Pacquiao. So we're like, oh, you lot stunk up the gaff, man. This ain't what we expected. But let's be honest, boy. Let's be honest, bro. Floyd put on a spectacular performance. Pacquiao won 2 rounds, and one of the rounds they gave him was because he had one flurry. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, bro,
but
it's not even fair.
that-
Like,
I don't think that fight even compares to what we're talking about.
no,
I
that-
hear what you're
that
saying.
fight doesn't. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
for
okay,
example,
yeah,
like
yeah. Being in the
we're
moment.
we're
Yeah.
being in the moment. Do you know what I mean? Like being in the moment of a big fight.
Yeah.
Like, bruv, AJ Klitschko, we're watching it in the moment. Someone could have said, this is one of the greatest heavyweight fights of all time. Someone watching it back saying, no, it weren't.
Yeah.
But you were there at the time. Atmosphere was crazy. 90,000 people in the stadium.
The fact that he got dropped and he got dropped.
Yeah. This is AJ's chance to show his supremacy that he's taken over.
That's
he's
a Rocky
passed
movie
the
sort
torch.
of thing.
You feel me?
Yeah.
At the time, watching it live, whoa. One of my favorite fights I've watched live, like in the venue, was White versus Parker. Said, but that was the best fight I've seen live in my life. Someone might watch it back and say, yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
I remember watching.
Do you know what I mean?
But that was like atmosphere. Was you there?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, that's like atmosphere and hype.
Atmosphere hype for me. But the way, look, Crawford, the reason why it's techie, because you're right about not that performance. That performance was brisk. Like, no one expected that. Like, no one, if anyone said that was going to happen, they lied.
Not in that fashion still.
To win, people said he was going to stop him.
Yeah.
But
Not
to
like
win
that.
every single round and knock him out.
Knocking down 3 times.
3 times.
3 times. No one's seen Spence get put down. We've all seen Spence wobble a little bit.
Yeah, or be hit
no
or
one's seen
whatever.
him
Yeah.
put down. No one's seen him be absolutely useless. And that's being respectful. Like, everything he done, Bud didn't even sweat. He was throwing big shots at him, but just catching it, composed. It's like playing with your little brother. And I fully hear that.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
Like a
Man
year
can't
7
put-
and
man-
year
man-
11.
Yeah, no, word.
Man can't
Yeah.
put him
Significant difference.
over Floyd still, because Floyd beat more world champions.
Yeah.
He's a world champion in more weight classes. He reigned for 19 years. Been a pro for 19 years, bro. Like, that's crazy alone. And he hasn't lost or been close to losing.
All right, let me come back that just
That's
a little
crazy,
bit.
bro.
I'm saying with the Floyd thing is that
And Bud's my favorite fighter, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm
bro,
just saying, you got to be sensible.
I obviously know. I know that. I know that.
I just feel like when Floyd, I hope I'm not chatting rubbish here, but when Floyd left Top Rank, I feel like when he finished, I think it was when after he beat Ricky Hatton, he started very carefully selecting who he was fighting.
Yeah.
No, he did, bro. I'm not saying he was
He
cherry
did,
picking,
because
but he would go with guys who have
turned
like
into a
got
businessman.
he turned into a businessman.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
So I'm not saying like
Don't do that.
No, word, bro.
No.
Word. But you know,
you got to put that into perspective, though. And that's why,
but to be fair, he beat all the world champions. I'm not saying he ducked. I'm not even leaning towards that. But I'm saying in terms of like being champion for 19 years, there come a stage in his career where he was making so much money, he could pretty much navigate quite smartly
The only time
who
he
he was doing that.
time he started navigating and picking and choosing is when he signed that Showtime deal.
Showtime deal.
The last 6 fights, I'm doing what the hell I want.
When was that? That was Cotto. That was including
Cotto.
Cotto.
Before Cotto.
Because he went
That was
jail in
after
there.
Cotto, sorry.
It was just after Cotto, then, isn't
The
it?
first fight with that contract was Guerrero.
But even Cotto though, like I don't know, like
Even Cotto though.
obviously
Cotto-
Cotto
That was at
hard.
154.
But you know,
That was
fam,
at 154,
you know what,
bro. And the guy didn't even weigh 154.
Hear what I'm saying. You know, as a fighter, there's certain styles. It don't matter who they are, but you know, there's a certain styles. If they're flat-footed, don't matter how hard they punch or how good they are. If they're flat-footed, there's nothing they can do with you. And I'm saying with Floyd's style, him knowing his style, there are just certain guys, Miguel Cotto being one of them, that are just not going to have anything. They can't touch him.
Floyd's toughest fights.
Yeah,
Can't touch him.
physically.
busted
But
him
I'm
up.
saying it wasn't like stylistically. I don't think it was
He
really.
had his number,
Yeah,
basically.
they had his
I
number,
hear what
bro.
you're saying still.
Whereas the Zab Judah fight is a bit different because now
Because they're
Zab is
both
taking
as
away
fast
his
and-
speed.
yeah,
Do you understand what I'm
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
say?
What, the
And he's got
Delaware
and he's got
fight?
pop. Who?
I think he picked the Delaware fight.
No. The whole fam. When he fought De La Hoya, I think it was after that fight, and
That
then
was
it
his
was Ricky.
breakthrough
That's when he
moment,
broke
yeah.
through.
Yeah.
I think it was after the De La Hoya fight when he gained real power.
That's when he became Money Mayweather.
Yeah, basically.
After that fight,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
it.
So did he fight Ricky
And
Hatton
fam, that
before-
fight he didn't. I'm just keeping it
Did he
100.
fight Ricky Hatton before?
I think it was one after De La
That
Hoya
was
still.
2009 still.
Exactly.
I think it was after.
2009.
Oh, that was one after.
I think it was
Because that's
one
when he came
after
Manny.
still.
Remember when he was winning Manchester United top?
Yeah.
I got you still.
But anyway, no, I'm not like trying to talk down Floyd.
That's the best, the greatest of all.
But I'm just saying,
I think Floyd wasn't.
when I watched the De La Hoya fight,
Yeah,
it was a close fight. The De La Hoya fight was a close fight. On the cards, it was a close
Great
fight.
fighter.
And he's a great fighter. But I'm saying Terence hasn't had. I'm a Spence fan.
I know.
But Terence ain't had a close fight. Terence ain't had a close fight. Like, really? And
He
I'm
has,
saying
and
the
then
way
he
he
stopped
dealt with
He's had a close fight and he stopped
Spence, it just wasn't close.
Gamboa was a close fight.
I was just about to say, would you say Gamboa
Yeah.
was his closest?
It was
But
going
Armstrong
close
was a
still.
close
It
fight
was
and he
going
stopped-
close.
and then he stopped him.
What, Postal?
No, Porter.
No, Apostle.
Porter,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Porter was a close fight and then he stopped him.
Fair.
So any close fight he's had, yeah, he ended up stopping the guy still.
Fair.
But obviously this one wasn't. Do you know what I mean?
This was-
And this is the best fight, I guess,
It's probably-
on paper that he's
without
fought.
being disrespectful, it's probably his easiest fight at welterweight, and it wasn't meant to be.
That's what I was going to say, because in the interview, so I listened to this podcast, The Pivot, and they asked him, on paper, they asked him, do you reckon this will be your toughest fight? And he goes, you know what? I can't say until I'm
Like
in the
getting
ring.
the ring, I see that.
Because he might be the easiest, and I might stop him in 2 rounds. And when he dropped him in the second round,
He's up in 2 rounds.
That was just
But you know what it is? That's a man that knows exactly what he's going to do to you because he's watched you and he knows all your flaws.
That's what I was
And
gonna
he's saying,
say.
Bro, you got loads of bad habits. But he got away with his bad habits because he was so strong and so relentless. He's just going to keep coming. Like Spence was, I saw something like Porter who was saying like, he was comparing it to like cars. He's like, Spence is 75 miles an hour all the way to his destination. And Crawford's like 100 miles an hour, then he goes 50, then he stops and takes a break, then he jumps back on, then he goes 100 again. And it's different levels of his pace. And I was like, that's the perfect example. Spencer's one way, one pace, and he's like, what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
I'm coming like this, and what are you gonna do about it? Everyone knows how I'm coming, but you can't do shit about it. Whereas Crawford's like, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. Give you a puncture.
Then I'm gonna slow it down. Then I'm gonna pick up again.
I'm
Pick
gonna
my shots.
give you a puncture. How are you gonna drive through for 75 miles per hour? I'm gonna finish you off. And that's what you've done. But
Yeah, I think best performance that there's been.
So I want to pose this question to you, man.
I mean, if he goes up and beats Charlo, then we can discuss.
Can I just say this as well? Actually,
He beats Charlo.
He beats Charlo easily.
Don't say easy.
No, not easy.
Don't do
Not easy.
Don't do that. No, he beats him.
He
easily.
beats Charlo, but
He
not
beats
easy.
Charlo.
He beats Charlo.
No,
easy.
but not easy because remember this time now. This is what he started at lightweight. I know he's grown into his weight, and obviously he's gonna fill out when he gets to 154. But he done 5 years at welterweight, innit?
Yeah.
So he's fully fledged now, innit?
Yeah.
But Charlo's physically strong, you know.
Yeah, but he's less fundamental than Errol.
Yeah.
And I think he's too aggressive.
Yeah.
And I feel like it happened at spurts from my memory, like in this fight with Spence. When Spence had to go on the back foot, it's like he didn't really have any success. I don't want to say he didn't know what to do, but I'm saying you push Thingy back. We're talking about the same Charlo that lost to Harrison, right?
Yeah. He beats him, bro.
Yeah, he beats him.
And
Harrison was beating my man again in the rematch,
Yeah,
but it's just a fragile you.
Harrison's
That's the only reason why.
Harrison's a clean boxer.
But I'm saying Terence brings even more.
I know, but Terence...
And he's physically stronger than that.
Yeah, but he
Damn, he'll counterpunch the hell out of Charlo. I'm sorry, bro.
100%, but-
And
but-
sorry,
but-
mentally,
but-
he'll
but-
rattle him as well.
But he also fights off emotion sometimes, Terence.
Yeah.
And he really don't like...
True.
Even in a scrap, I think he'll
Charlo.
still beat
That's a good point.
Charlo.
So he might want to just stick it on him a little bit.
Because he was disciplined in this Spence fight. There was
Yeah,
times...
mad discipline.
There was times when you
Mad
thinking...
relaxed.
He could have...
Yeah, the defense was just
Mad.
was bonkers.
Best I've seen it.
Yeah, it's bonkers.
I kid you not.
But before I move on, I just wanted to say, Spence, the reason why I say it's better, just going back because you was having a little rant there. Fam, Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia,
Yeah.
Mikey Garcia, 135 pounder.
Sean Porter,
Right.
Yeah, but on paper...
Sean
Mikey was
Porter.
doing his thing until, obviously...
Sean, Danny Garcia,
Ugas.
Mikey Garcia, Ugas, Sean Porter. Who else?
I'll give you all of them apart from...
My point
Mikey
is,
Garcia.
he's beaten all them guys in their prime. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? To a
Danny
certain
Garcia.
degree. Danny Garcia,
Danny Garcia.
I was just gonna say Danny Garcia. Maybe not at his prime
he's
weight,
140.
but he's not like old, washed up, or
And
whatever.
Mikey Garcia.
The only reason why I
Mikey
can't.
Garcia.
basically.
And Mikey Garcia.
Mikey Garcia is a top fighter.
Who
Still.
did he beat at 137?
I'm just saying he's a top fighter.
hasn't
No,
won
he
a-
didn't. He didn't
hasn't
even.
won a fight
He
at
didn't even.
137.
But my point is,
So how's
he's
he
washing
prime?
up. He's washing up top
was he
guys,
prime?
bro. I'm saying he's washing up top guys. Had he even lost going into that fight?
Huh?
Had he even lost going
He
into
was
that fight?
undefeated still.
No, but he hasn't beat anyone at 140. He come
But then
from
going back to
135.
the prime,
Wait,
is
wait,
the
ever
argument.
since- ever
Going back to the
since-
argument
Wait,
about
wait,
prime.
wait,
How can you say he's not in his prime just because he's fighting at heavier weight when he's never lost?
Because you're not in prime condition. You're not in physical. You're not in the best physical condition.
I don't know
He
about
was
that, bro.
fleshy.
I don't know
Yeah,
about
He
that.
wasn't,
He
he's not
did
in best,
look meaty
he wasn't in
still.
I
his
don't know
best
about
physical
that.
condition.
I don't know. So you don't rate that performance?
Not that I don't rate it. I just don't give him that as a top, one of the top fighters, one of the top guys, because you fought a smaller guy.
I
And
think in a way that-
Spence is a good big guy. A good
Yeah,
big guy.
no, he
always
is a
beats
big
good
guy.
small
No,
guy.
no,
We
of
always
course.
know that. So it's not even like Garcia was big for the weight. He was already small when he moved up to 140.
Yeah, facts.
So he was gonna beat Michael Garcia, bro. So
But my point is with the Errol.
But the same thing with Bud. He beat names as
No,
well.
but let me
You
land
don't
my.
wanna give it to
This
him.
is my point. I'm giving it to him. I'm saying Terence
39-0, but
Terence
I'm
has
saying
beat
who's he
Terence has beat Errol when Errol's off the back of all them. That was my point. All them good performances.
100%.
I don't know Corrales' box rec or what he was doing, who he was knocking out.
30
No, but I'm saying who he was knocking out.
Castillo and
Because
them.
look at George Foreman, he was knocking out anyway. Yeah, but I'm saying with Errol, his thing is like, there's no, you can't question. Oh, well, maybe he was on his way out because no, he's off the back of like big names.
100%.
And that's my
win.
and that's my point.
let's not
And that's why I
carry
think
the
it
weight.
tops. That's why I think it tops the Floyd one. Unless I actually sat down and looked at who Corrales has actually beat going into the Floyd fight, But I'm saying off my head, I know who Errol has
There's
beat,
someone out there
if
that's
that
a
makes sense.
crazy fan that's going to watch this and be like, oh, just say this guy's name.
Yeah.
Before he beat this
But
guy.
I'm saying, why don't we know their name? Like that.
So obviously, it was a flawless performance. But do you feel that Errol made so many mistakes to make that fight for Crawford to capitalize on it and make it look so easy? Because on paper, this was dubbed supposed to be elite v elite. But when they got into the ring, we realized that there was levels to this thing at the elite level. So the question I want to pose, because there was bare times when I saw him leaning in, but he's southpaw, he's leaning in, but then obviously his left hand is low, and then he's done it like twice, and then Crawford's clocked it and he stepped and just done an overhead shot.
He always watched you guys fight. He was leaning on the fight. They were both leaning in.
Yeah, but you know what this sounds like? And I'm not being a Terence suck up again. But my point is, you saying you've seen Errol make these mistakes before, yeah?
100%.
We can call out all the mistakes that Roy Jones used to make, all the unorthodox things Muhammad Ali used to do, but no one could do anything about it. So
That's
now,
the
like...
difference. That's what I said.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Spence is like,
So all these mistakes, like him lunging in and whatever,
Mm.
up to that point, they weren't mistakes, bro.
True.
Like, factually, they're not mistakes, because no one else has been able to
No, they are mistakes, but it's mistakes that no one's been able to capitalize on.
Yeah.
Just because you can't capitalize, it's still a mistake.
No, but it's
still bad habits.
It's working, though. But what makes it a bad habit? The fact that it's not boxing textbook.
The fact that you're leaning over your front knee.
No, but going back to, like, fundamentally,
The
if
balance
no
is
one's
off.
making it, how is it a mistake?
Because of the style of guys that he's been fighting, and that's not taking that away from him. He had the best
don't know.
resume
Yeah.
at 147. But man's never.
I think
fought-
it's only a mistake if someone can make it a mistake, by definition.
I hear what you're
of
saying,
the word.
but at
Do you know
the
what I'm
end
trying
of
to
the
say?
day,
And only Terence was able to do that.
capitalize.
But let's not go on like Errol coming with hella bad habits and hella bad technique.
No, of course.
Because
Wait,
otherwise,
I ain't gonna lie.
guys...
I promise you, I did not think he was going to get stopped, but I thought Crawford was going to win once because I like Spence as well. Against everyone else, Spence, I want Spence to win, but against Crawford, it was just this guy. When I saw that public workout, bro, the defense was leaky. Yeah. So many. I just said, well, Crawford's got to capitalize on that, but I still didn't think he was going to knock him out. I just thought he's going to capitalize on that.
He was hitting him too flush, too often.
So many. His defense was just leaky in that public workout with Derek James. I don't know if you watch it and you've seen it.
Oh,
but
no, I watched it still.
Crawford's just too quick. Of course, he's strong, he's powerful, but mate, that performance was brazy. Still, that was a great performance, man. And I'm just playing devil's advocate.
That's what I'm trying to play, bro.
Terence Crawford is my favorite fighter.
Yeah.
Like, so you saying he's the greatest of the era, right? I'll take that.
I think
but
he is.
I'm just letting you know you can't try and say he's already overtaken Floyd. Still, I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like that. I'm not in terms of. All right, let's be careful with what we're saying. Not in terms of legacy and achievements.
Okay.
Because you've been champion for 19 years. Factually, Terence ain't done that. Whatever. The only thing that Terence has maybe got over Floyd, a little bit of politics involved. Like you say, he's the only male to be two-time undisputed. That's the only thing.
I hear you.
Floyd was good enough to do that, but it was just probably people vacating or just business and money involved. You know what I mean?
I think also.
But so in terms of achievements, go on, say it.
No, go on, finish.
In terms of achievements, obviously it's Floyd. That's not an argument because there's facts there. But I'm saying, I don't even want to say ability because they never would have been in the ring together. But yeah, I'm not going to say ability. But I'm saying on dominant performances at the elite level, I haven't seen anything like that. Anything.
And I think also as well, to add to your point, is Crawford can finish.
Yeah, he's
I
a sick
think
finisher.
as Mayweather went up in the weight classes, it was just more stylistically, he was just boxing and going to the points.
You know what? I've got to say this before you.
His body got down on him, man.
You know what I've got to say though? You know certain man like Roy Jones, and even Floyd at times, they're sick. But really it's like, take away their speed at times against certain opponents, and it's like, he's winning on speed. Some fights, Floyd is just too sharp.
Don't say
Okay,
Floyd.
he's mad sharp. He's mad.
Jones winning
He's
on
smart.
speed.
Okay, Floyd is he's smart and whatever.
Athleticism as
But I'm saying, if you take away Terrence's speed, his timing was still better. His movement was still better. His defense was still better. In that fight against
who?
at that fight,
Then who? Floyd.
no, it's not better than
Oh,
Floyd. I'm
Spence.
not saying.
But
I'm just saying in general, it's like he beat him in every single department.
Yeah.
But Floyd as well. Floyd's timing is A1.
No, of course, I'm not comparing that.
So
but I'm
take
saying
away his
that I'm
speed,
just
take the
I'm just
timing.
thinking of certain
His
like,
time.
I'm just thinking of some of his fights off the top of my head.
Whose fight we talking about here?
Floyd, for example. I'm just thinking like if his conditioning weren't If Zab Judah's
But
conditioning wasn't so good,
This is all about. This is all part
he could
of
have,
the game,
of
though.
course. But I'm just saying,
If
it's like,
Spence's conditioning was better, he wouldn't have gone over that against Crawford, bro.
He just would have got a 12 round beating, bro.
Yeah.
He just
It
would have,
would've been
or the
a
ref would have,
12-round
the
battle.
doctors over there.
Well, it was on the way to a 12-round batting anyway because the towel was not coming in. I mean, I even think Crawford.
My point is that I'm just saying, like, across the board.
He took the gas off.
Yeah,
He took the
yeah,
gas
yeah,
off.
yeah.
Like, after that round 5, 6.
And this is what I'm saying, like, who's done that?
No one.
But that
No
goes
one
back
has
to the
done that at
reference.
that level, bro.
Yeah, no one.
No one has done that at that level.
But that's what goes back to the reference, what you were saying when Porter used the analogy. He goes at 100 mile per hour, slows down, goes to 50, then takes up again. He literally saw, there was a point when, I can't remember what round it was, when the bell rang. He even tapped him to make sure he was all right.
That was after he knocked him down.
Like,
Yeah.
what boxers doing that? Like, if this
I
Crawford
think,
and
he had,
other
I, think, I
fights,
think he had a lot of respect for.
well, too much. That's why I say it was such a disciplined performance. Do you know what I'm saying? Because if this is a Charlo,
No, it was. It was.
the minute he would have dropped, if he was to drop Charlo in 2, it would have been done by 3.
So is your point that just the fact that
I'm just saying, I've seen fights, I've seen highlights of other guys, and I'm like, all right, cool. Fam, I don't want to do a Spencer Fearon here. But I'm saying,
Big up Spencer though.
even like, you know, like George Foreman, you take away his power. Mike Tyson, to a certain degree, you take away his power. But I'm saying with Terence, it's like, and that's what I'm saying with Floyd. There's some fights I've watched with Floyd and I'm like, he's just too sharp or his feet are just too quick. And I'm saying if you take certain things away from certain guys, it makes the fight a lot closer. But even with Terence, if you take away certain things from that fight, he was so much better in every department, defense, offense.
okay, take away what?
Fam, if the things that we're talking about, take away speed, take away a little bit of his defense. He's still winning that fight on counterpunching.
He is, but like you
Just
said,
on counterpunching,
but it'll be
just
closer.
of course, but just on counterpunching alone.
I hear that, but
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
It'll be closer. Counterpunching, but you do need a bit of speed to be able to counterpunch, bro.
Yeah,
and some timing. So
Yeah, and
if you want to
timing,
take away someone's attributes, they can't do the stuff that they were doing. So if you're going to take away his attributes, like speed and whatever,
Obviously, it's
then he might not be able to counter as much.
Yeah, obviously it's hypothetical.
Just
But
like-
the point I'm trying to make
Spence
is that
was a bit
like,
slower. He probably saw certain things and couldn't counter it because
He
he
took
had
the
the
jab
speed
away.
to.
He took the jab away straight away. He
But that's the
parried it.
thing, though. The thing
And
with
that was it.
even that, like, it was just
the thing with Crawford, just like with Floyd, with a lot of his opponents, they're just that much smarter. See, like, these guys are guys that do their homework. These guys are like, they understand box. I'm not saying Spence don't, but Spence is like, yo, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna break you. I'm gonna walk you down. When I jab you and start beating on the body, you're gonna crumble.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, but I know your best attribute. And when I take that away from you, what are you gonna do? So he took away his jab. How? By throwing his jab. Just made his jab hard. He stiffened his
Parried and
jab.
shot it straight, yeah.
He
Stiff
stiffened up his jab. He didn't throw no lazy jabs.
Yeah.
He stiffened his jab. Boom. Made Spence shake his head like, right, that was a bit solid.
It's the
How do I get
timing
inside?
for me as well, bro. Like
Yeah,
every
but
time.
sometimes you don't need speed for timing.
Yeah, for real. For real.
Timing's timing.
even outside of that, like this is what I'm saying about in every area. Like he looked stronger. I'm not saying he looked bigger.
Oh, he definitely looked
but he looked
stronger.
stronger. He looked
But I
more.
said this
Do you know?
to
No, but
everybody.
do you know what I'm trying to say though?
Even
It's
if-
like,
even
When they
if-
clinched,
even if
he
you saw
bounced
me-
him
yeah, there was
off.
one bit.
even if you
When I
saw
saw that, I was scared. As a Spence fan, I said, yeah, safe.
Even before the fight,
Yeah.
I said, I don't know why everyone's underestimating Terence's strength. The guy grew up wrestling, bro.
Yeah.
That is
certain skills
that's
you
the
learn
most
in
physical
that.
sport you could do, bro.
Yeah, that grappling thing on the inside.
Bro, your physicality is the main thing of that sport. I don't know why everyone's acting like Spence is just going to push him like he's some little guy. And then he ends up pushing Spence back. I didn't think he was going to push Spence back, but I thought he's going to be right in there. Spence ended up pushing Spence back.
And maybe that's the point I'm trying to make. Like we're going on all these different points: the speed, the counter punching, the punch. Even the punch variety, he was throwing backhand hooks, then bringing them up. Then going around the side.
That's what fascinates
Then
me.
he's stronger.
See, to
Now
me,
I'm saying in
Terence
every
is like
department
pretty
he's
boy
better
all the
than
way
him.
through.
Yeah.
He's like what?
He's pretty boy all the way through his career. But
Facts.
obviously, Floyd had injuries, and that's why, for me, the reason why he's so sick is he's had 2 careers.
Yeah.
He got injuries and changed his whole style and was still successful with it. How many
No,
guys can
Floyd
do
can't
that?
be. Floyd
Because
can't be.
every time
Floyd
someone-
can't be questioned. But I'm saying there's a reason.
Wait, but sorry to cut you, but every time someone's body breaks down and they try to change their style, they hold
yeah,
beatings, and it's like, but him in his prime. Floyd changed his whole style and was still in his prime.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
no,
was
of
in his
course.
prime all the way till 38.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
No, greatness, obviously.
So when is Floyd in his prime? Which version of Floyd do you want?
yeah.
Man's had 2 careers.
I slightly feel like, shut me down if you feel I'm talking rubbish, but I slightly feel like anyone who's been undefeated over such a long period of time, you can kind of say that for them as well, though.
What, had 2 careers?
Not like 2 careers, but like, how do you measure their prime? Anyone who's been undefeated, like you spoke Joe Calzaghe, to a certain degree, like in his earlier fights,
I could agree with that.
he had hand problems as well, but I'm saying anyone that's been undefeated, how do you
How do you assess?
How do you assess their prime? But I'm saying there's a reason why. There's a reason why there's a lot of people on Instagram. I don't know. It's just Instagram. Most of them are just whatever. But like saying that, who would have won, Terence or Floyd? I'm saying that just shows the weight of how good the performance was.
Yeah,
100%.
There's a reason people are having them
this
conversations.
is why I don't even listen to all of that rubbish, because on Friday, Bud ain't fought no one.
For real.
On Sunday, he's better than Floyd.
But I'm saying a performance like that.
Not you, I'm not saying you said
no, I didn't say that. But I'm saying
a man are saying he's surpassed Floyd.
A performance like that against who he fought, it's like
though, innit? They're fickle.
Let him do it consistently. I'm not saying he can't. He can.
Yeah.
He can do it consistently.
He's just not been given opportunity.
The guy's 25 now, bro. He's gonna want to retire soon, bro. It's just like you said, undefeated fights. Andre Ward, he's another one. How do you measure his prime? Because even when he fought Kovalev at the end of his career, he looked great. But he told you he was breaking down. Yeah. It's just a man that just knows how to knuckle down and focus, bro. All these guys, like I always say, it takes a great fighter to hit that mindset every single time they step into that space. All sports, in fact, all sports, because everyone has off days. Everyone goes, I'm not feeling it today, For real. So it takes a special person, a special talent. Every time they step out to perform, they hit that level of 100% or nothing.
Yeah,
100% or nothing.
No, for sure,
bro. So anyone that's ever done that, you can only take your hats off to them and put them in Hall of Fame, all-time greats, and that's why they are where they are. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you're right. Someone that's undefeated, how do you measure their prime? And it's just, you just go off their best performance and say that was the best performance. That version of this guy would beat anyone.
Yeah.
But bro, you can say that for.
And look, just on that point, because I mean you brought that up, and I guess you've articulated it better than I did. But
does Bud beat
that Floyd version of Bud on the weekend? At 147,
100%.
I don't really know.
A lot of man,
But you can't get over the fact that Floyd's always found a way with whoever he's stepped in the ring with.
But anyone undefeated, you
even
can say
Zab Judah back and forth, he found a way.
Anyone undefeated, you can say that.
Oscar De La Hoya back and forth, he found a way. You know what I mean? All these guys, he found a way. He took a 2-year layoff, came back and beat Marquez.
Yeah,
come on, bro. Marquez,
he was a little man.
He was a dog. Do you know what I mean? You can take a 2-year layoff, come back and beat this guy. Went jail, came back, still on top.
But this, fam, I feel like the argument will go too deep. So I don't want to. But I'm saying stylistically, you know better, bro. Hear me.
I understand.
Looking at Marquez, it's the style of Marquez. Like the Mexican, like he's not gonna beat Floyd at any point, bro.
Off a 2-year layoff, anyone's getting beat, bro. No. Timing is off, speed is off, everything's off, footwork's off. You ain't boxed for 2 years, bro.
But Floyd is on a number.
You retired. He retired, quote unquote retired.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying, retired. This is what I'm saying, retired.
He's enjoying his life.
He just didn't have a professional fight.
You see videos of him roller skating in his house.
But it's not like he put on mad weight. It's not like. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, he's never,
so to a certain degree, like we don't know what he was doing, and he's still training now.
But he hasn't been in camp. He hadn't been in camp for 2 years. You've been taken over for 2 years. You come back and beat an active fighter.
Yeah,
that was probably a champion at the time.
Yeah, no,
come on, bro. The guy's skill set is second. He would always find a way, bro. That's my point. I'm not saying he would have beat Marquez anyway.
But going back to my question that you kind of helped me create, that version of Terence, does it beat Floyd at 147?
Hard to say. I ain't seen no one beat Floyd at 147, so that's hard to say. And I ain't seen no one beat Bud anyway, so that's hard to say. But I'm just saying Floyd always finds a way. And I'm not saying I agree or disagree with you. I'm just saying we can't get excited about right now.
Yeah, but I just think you keep talking about like.
If you're gonna tell me Floyd
this is just turned into some mad thing between me and him. Let me tell you what. You're thinking about numbers, legacy, achievements. I'm saying ability wise, looking at Terence and what he showed he's good at on the weekend, and then you know what Floyd is good at. Forget what he's done and all this stuff, but we know his skill set. We know what he's good at. I'm saying when you put them two in the ring,
he's good at figuring you out.
Who is like who stands a better chance?
Both of them do that.
I know, and Floyd would happily make it boring.
Yeah, true.
You getting tired, you hold.
True.
Jab you up. Stay
I hear you, but
not get close. Control the center a little bit. Make you think, this guy's been boring. Boom, boom, stop jabbing you up. Throw combination, step back out. We're done with Canelo.
Yeah, but these guys are not Crawford, bro. Like Crawford's got brains as well. Some of these guys fight like they ain't got brains.
Okay, you're right.
Some of them guys have fought like, even though they're great, they have fought that they ain't got brains.
Before he went to 175.
Yeah.
Bad boy. After 175, I think that kind of ruined him a little bit.
Yeah.
But, are you going to tell me stylistically, and this is a question, I'm not saying whether I believe it or not, is Crawford better than Canelo?
For Floyd Mayweather?
Not for Floyd.
Just in general.
Is Crawford better than Canelo?
I think so.
Personally,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, cool. Then
I think so.
I have no argument.
Fam, we know that styles make fights. Like we've seen some guys fight against.
And I'm not saying if Crawford would beat Canelo, but that's not.
Yeah, no, I hear you. But I do think the styles make fights.
100%.
Like you could beat him or something, then I'll beat you, then you might beat me. Like
That was
some
that
weird
was
thing.
that era of them two middleweight. So
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes you look at it and you look at it like, raw, how does that work? But it's just the style.
Styles.
Canelo, as good as he is, walking down like he walked down all them fighters with his hands high and then getting in close, whacking them out. That's not going to work against
that's the
Floyd.
thing, though.
Anyone fleet-footed, that's not going to work against.
We say that,
But we saw that with Bivol though.
but this is what I'm trying to say. We say that, and this is why I said before we went up to 175. We say that about Canelo as if that's how we fought his whole career. It's not.
No.
Canelo was slick early on.
Yeah, he changed it after the defeat.
Thank you. Look at him against someone like Austin Trout. Not touching him. Danny Jacobs. Not touching him.
For me, that was one defensive.
Clean performance.
Bro.
Then he went high, then he went up in weight and started holding more weight. Can't move him
Yeah.
up, so he started keeping his hands up and walking man down. That's not Canelo's style.
Yeah, facts.
That's Canelo's style now. But
Yeah, but
Canelo before-
compared to someone who is
Canelo's someone that's had 2
compared
careers
to
as
someone
well.
who's a proper mover,
That's a good point.
like a proper mover, like with mad agility in their feet, not just their torso movement and head movement. Canelo is flat-footed compared to Floyd Mayweather. Like,
I mean, now he is.
Yeah, now.
yeah,
Now he is. And he definitely is now. I can't even argue with that stuff.
but yeah,
I'm kind of even lost where we're at still. Let's talk about the knockdowns. The first one was a jab. I think it was a left hook and then a jab.
No, backhand
no,
jab.
it's like a
straight
2-1,
backhand
isn't
jab.
it? Yeah,
Okay.
it's like a backhand and a jab.
Yeah, but from the southpaw position.
yeah.
And it got me thinking, it's just like, if my man's knocking him down with a jab like that,
Nah, but the 2-1, it ain't just a normal
Yeah, I was
jab,
gonna
bro.
say it's not a normal. It's a very.
That's like
but
hard.
even that, like
The
to
2-1s,
to
yeah.
land that against someone
So-
again at that level, it's an unorthodox kind of shot.
But this is what I'm saying.
Kovalev throws it a
All these
little bit.
mistakes. See, I watched that 10 times the other day. Crawford went to the body and Spence tried to go back to the body as well. Like, I went there, I'm going to go there too. So Crawford went to the body, he got up, Spence went to the body. As soon as he went to the body, he just threw the 2-1. You're off balance because you're reaching into
I was
the
gonna
body.
say the 2-1 was a lot of a balance shot,
Nah, he was hurt when he got up.
but it was still a balance
He
shot.
wobbled.
I think it was a shot that if his legs were right, it just would have hurt him and he would have stayed on his feet. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I got what you're saying.
But he
Should've
went
back.
down off balance. Like it was a 10-8 round because of balance.
Yeah,
but
but the shot-
every
He
shot
got up
was hurting
and-
him, bro.
and the second knockdown I didn't even see.
bro, I had to wheel it up at like
Bro, there
3-4
was one
times.
knockdown. I don't know what one it was. Fam, Lee Tree. Brother was like this, come back on the ropes.
Yeah.
He like he was
That's my
gonna go
favourite
into
one.
a shell.
That's the
Oh,
uppercut.
that's the second one.
Yeah.
Fam, he's gone boom, and then he's just got. But it's like he went like he was gonna go in a shell.
Yeah, yeah.
And Errol's like, okay, you're inviting me in.
Yeah,
Fam,
yeah,
then
yeah,
as soon
yeah.
as Errol's like dipped his big head, he just lifted him up. Fam, then spun him with the hook.
I didn't see
was
him. I
like,
didn't
But you know
see
what's
him.
mad though? He
Yeah.
actually landed with his one after he got caught with the first.
yeah, he held a power shot.
Yeah,
from
yeah,
set,
that's what I'm saying. So when I saw
Nah, that was mad. That's just a mad counter punching, bro.
but then that just goes with ring generalship with Crawford, where
Yeah.
he's inviting Spence to come to him, and then goes to the rope and then bounces, and literally it's like it's a reflex, bang, bang.
Yeah.
That was like, that's
That's
like,
like,
that's a
raw.
man that's just so relaxed. He can see everything coming.
But at the same time, yeah, I'm not taking away from Spence like at all. I'm not taking away from Crawford, but Spence at times, I don't know if because he was knocked down so early, he was moving like overly.
Concussed.
He was moving overly aggressive,
Yeah.
or overly like rushing.
Yeah, he's
Like,
that was the beginning of the end for him.
Yeah. He was
Yeah,
mad
he's
tense
mad
still,
tense.
like, and that I think that was a mistake. Like just jumping in on a counter puncher like that. Like normally he would have kind of gone in behind his jab, but he
Just
kind of just like
retreat back.
like you
But
said
his jab
earlier,
wasn't
like just
working.
lunged. He just kind of lunged in.
Jab wasn't working.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying I've never seen him like rush an attack like that. Is what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean?
Interesting now.
I mean, he just hasn't fought anyone as good as Crawford, innit?
Crawford's got that weird.
And I said this before they fought. Both of them would beat everyone in each other's resume.
True.
So we can't expect like, oh yeah, but he might. No, both of them would actually absolutely smoke each other on each other's resume.
One thing with going back to the knockdowns is that like, obviously like looking at Terence's power, like, or obviously he holds power, but it's one of them ones where I don't know if you know what I mean. Like, it doesn't necessarily look like he's got mad power.
Yeah.
When he hits guys, you see the effect on guys, and he's like, right, he's hurt or he's going down. But it don't look. It's not slow. Obviously, it's sharp, and he must be reasonably heavy-handed.
That's the sharpness.
But it's just like,
He's punching with a closed fist. It's
Yeah.
the difference. It's like a
he's
scaffolding
not.
pole. It's
Yeah.
Boom.
Like the jab, like it didn't.
People said that about me though.
It didn't look like Oh yeah, I don't know. Like the power just was mad. Like he was hurting him with every single punch.
But I was listening to an interview with Virgil Hunter, and he was saying that.
Was that the half an hour thing?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, some
so
gems in there.
Gems,
yeah,
bro.
Yeah. I send that to my boy. Still.
He said basically he came down to the gym and he took him on the pads, and he said he doesn't look like he's got power, but he's got a snap.
Bud.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So when
it's that snap.
you feel it on the pad, it don't look like he's loading up or anything. It's just genuinely what he said was he's been built. He's been
from the wrestling team.
Fundamentally,
strong legs, basically.
Foundation, everything. You can see he's gone through the gears.
But even going back to the snap, like going back to like the Zab Judas or even the Floyd Mayweathers who got sharp, snappy punches. He don't really look like that.
No.
I know they're in like same weight or 1 or 2 weights apart. He don't look like that.
No, it's different still.
Like he don't look sharp, but don't look that sharp. Like whether it's on the pads, I know we don't hit the pads like that necessarily, but he don't look like that even when he's punching guys in the ring. But the effect that it's having on guys, I mean, he looked like a different weight class at times. The way he was making Spence wobble all over the place.
Yeah, for real. After the defeat, there was a lot of criticism going towards Spence that people were talking about retirement. I saw a clip from Stephen A. Smith saying basically the car crash and basically like the effects of that car crash, I think we're seeing it now. Because I think Virgil Hunter said something about his face was all red, but his nose was bleeding, but it wasn't running. His lip was bleeding, but it wasn't running. He said something about like, I think he had to do like a facial
surgery on his face,
teeth and everything. And I think talking about how he speaks and everything, basically a lot of people are saying, do you know what? He's had an amazing career. He'll be in the Hall of Fame. You should call it a day. What's your man's take on that?
So I don't listen to people.
I think people are saying that.
Interviews, fam.
I think people, I agree with that. But like, I think that's probably from the interviews I've heard. That's coming from a worried about his health, if that makes sense. And financially, he's calm. I don't think it's that he can't box, he can't fight, and whatever. And he was over the hill, but they're just worrying about like his health and his So like, I get that.
I think they based it though due to the one side how one-sided the fight was as well.
Yeah. So
because obviously the beating it was a beating, but it wasn't like we've all seen Crawford when he wants to be brutal, innit? I just felt like it was almost like a point system where he's just jabbing, and just beating him to the punch in any shape or form. But the way he's faced and the way he almost looked unbalanced, sometimes he even looked tired. I feel like rounds 4 or 5, it almost looked like he was fatigued, which was weird because normally he's always like a prime.
It's only but all these things about his face and him being tired and off balance, it's only weird because we've never seen him do it before. There are fighters like Cole Frotch who maybe take one to give two kind of thing, or that get bruised up in a lot of their fights and no one says anything. It's only because we're not used to seeing it that people are maybe really super like worried, if you like. But like, I think people are just worried about his health when they're saying that, when people are making them suggestions. Yeah.
And do you think him and his coach, Derek James, were naive to just go with the plan A going into that fight, fully well knowing how elite Crawford is, and basically saying, all right, I've been undefeated, I've cleaned up pretty much all the belts with this certain style, I'm going to do the exact same thing, because I remember him saying he's going to break him down, he's going to take his soul and all of that, and eventually that's what kind of happened to him. So do you think him and his team were kind of naive not having a plan B?
I mean, yes and no. No, because like you said, I got this far doing what I'm doing. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I'm not about to change up what's got me all the success because of you.
Yeah.
But the all should have been aware that, cool, we need to have a bag of tricks here. Like, if this don't work, we need to go to this. But all his career, everything's worked. He's won 3 world titles with that style. And he's fought naturally bigger guys and broke them down with that style. So him looking at Bud coming up from 135 or 140 to 147, he probably thinking, he made a mistake, but he probably thinking, you're not going to be as physically strong as these guys. I'm going to break you down. You might be skillful and a better boxing than them, but I ain't going to give you the opportunity to try and box me. So that's where, he could have been a bit naive. But in terms of, sticking to what they know, I mean, look, if it's not broke, don't fix it, innit? Do you know what I mean? So now he's got to make some adjustments, make some changes. Whether he takes the rematch or not, he's got to make adjustments and changes and think about what you can do at 154. Because at 154, he's no longer going to have that size advantage. He's no longer going to be the biggest. True. There's going to be stronger guys. So what are you going to do? We all know he can box. I mean, he showed a bit of his boxing skills against Sean Porter, to be honest. True.
Alright, so do you, man, think that if the rematch does take place at 154, would it be a different outcome, or do you think it will be as big as a landslide as it was at 147?
I don't think it will make a difference. Personally,
I mean, I think. Sorry, I'm even mad. I think.
This brother.
Crawford still wins, but I think it might be a little bit closer. I don't think Spence is going to go out like that twice. That's impossible still. Like at that level, the level of fighter he is, he can't be going out like that twice still.
I feel like Spence will lose, Crawford will win. I feel like going back to how aggressive Crawford could have been, I feel like he can get rid of him earlier if he wants to.
And I think Spence probably thinks he's going to feel better at 154, but so is Crawford.
Not even to like go into that weight thing, but like these weight classes are not that far away. Like I don't know how you feel.
They're not.
It's not that much.
What from 147 to 154?
Fam, 140 to 147, 7 pounds. Like it's not that much. Like, and then like he's been at 147 for 5 years. You're accustomed 147 to 154. Like I don't know. Like
how much of a?
It's when you start like if there was a big 154. Like say Golovkin somehow got down to 154. If he's there and then he's fighting someone like Terence, you're like, all right, cool, yeah. Terence is naturally 140. But when you get guys that are like,
I hear what you're saying,
you know what I'm trying to say? Like in and around that
when
weight,
the gap isn't as big as it.
And Errol's been at 147 his whole career. Like I don't think he's super drained at the weight.
I know what you're saying, but even people talking about this weight drain stuff, it's like, bro, the guy was the champion at that weight class. I don't know why everyone's saying this weight drain thing as if it was some catch weight kind of thing, and he drained him. That's the weight he last had a fight at. He won his last belt at that weight.
Yeah.
Speaking of weight drain, say for so you that's obviously fine at 160. If you used to go to 154, would you feel it, or would you reckon you'd be able to fight it?
I feel it.
Swear.
Yeah, I feel it. I can't make 154.
And the same for you if you used to.
I wish I could though.
Heavy.
Yeah, I had one fight at light heavy and I was mash up.
Swear.
Yeah, I struggled.
So
and I wasn't even at the weight, it was a catch weight. I went to 81 kilos.
Swear.
And the real limit is 79. Sometimes you get there, but I guess it's just like how you perform there.
You fight there,
yeah.
I can't get it though.
But you're kind of big for middle.
So do you think you can make the transition into 168 quite quickly, quite easily?
Yeah, easily. I want to win a world title at 160 and I go 160. I mean, I'll make 160 comfortably. I can always make 160, but I think domestically I'll beat everyone at 168 as well.
Tell them who you are, fam.
Jeez.
You're dumb.
Tell them who you are, fam.
No, but I think domestically I can beat everyone at 168 still.
Yeah.
And that's not even being disrespectful.
Saying nothing. And obviously, Crawford, where does he go from here? Like, in terms of, he's already secured his legacy as the greatest of our era. But I'm just looking in terms of options. If not the rematch with Spence, he can go up and fight Charlo. But if not Charlo, with Charlo now obviously fighting Canelo.
I've been confused, bro. Like I should know this, but I thought it was the.
I
thought it was the other Charlo.
It was supposed to be. I
thought it was the other Charlo.
I didn't even know what he was gonna say. I just said you should know
this guy. I thought it was the other Charlo that was meant to be fighting him.
We all did.
Everyone. That was the
until the announcement.
Yeah.
So what I would say, what I want to see, I feel like personally, if Crawford retired now, going back to like what he's achieved, first male, he's cool. And his age, because he ain't young, you know.
35 still.
Well, he's the first ballot Hall of Famer, 100%.
And I feel like, he could retire now. He could rematch Spence, and then fight Charlo,
and then call it a
day. Or just fight Charlo and call it a day.
Because either way,
because he's one guy I don't want to see him entertain my man Ennis. Not that I think Ennis will beat him.
That's what I was gonna
but
say.
just that when the young guys come, I think he should just allow it.
But even Furman talking like,
Furman. I don't even want to talk about
Furman's been annoying me.
He needs a payday, man.
I don't even want to talk about Furman.
When he was top dog, he didn't want to know none of them, man. You know. And now all of a sudden now he's screaming for them man now to fight.
You know, he's always
an idiot still.
But people keep talking about Bud versus Canelo. Like, come on, man, let's not do it.
It's not reasonable.
But I don't think that's the reasonable. Yeah, I don't think that's the reasonable people saying them things. I think that's the social media thing. I don't think it's like the.
No, he said I'm not going up to 168 anyway. At his own mouth, like that's too big.
Yeah, 168 is too big.
Far too big. My man started at what 135, and now they're thinking you end his career at 168.
Yeah, you don't do that if you're on.
And this is how guys do the Roy Jones thing and then ruin their career, bro.
Facts.
I would like to see him fight Charlo. I don't even really want to see the rematch.
The bigger you are naturally, the higher you can go. Coming from 135 to go to 168
and end your career there. That's mad.
That's crazy. Still, that's dangerous. Still.
And unnecessary.
Very unnecessary.
There's enough money where they are. Yeah. You know what I mean?
If you've got the frame for that, like for example, Oscar De La Hoya was tall, lanky. He started at 130, 135.
130.
He might have finished at 154, 160. You could do that. He's got the frame.
Because yeah, you
But
And when
Crawford's
guys-
frame ain't big and tall and long.
Yeah.
He hasn't got to fill out. It won't make sense.
okay.
And some guys, when they're young, like I think Oscar was doing it when he was 130, like draining himself
Yeah, he was
from
younger.
early,
Yeah,
and he was younger. So as he gets older, he don't want to drain himself, or it's too hard for him
Yeah,
to do
he
it.
goes up.
But yeah, to answer your question, I'd like to see him. No, I don't want to see him rematch Spence, if I'm honest. I just don't see like why, other than it being in the contract.
Yeah, I think it is. In the
So I
contract.
feel sometimes you got to warrant a rematch. Do you know what I mean?
No, man. Let them run it back, man.
Yeah, no, they're gonna because it's in the contract. But like,
yeah.
just to answer your question, I'd like to see him because then if he beat Charlo, who's unified.
Undisputed.
But that's why he should run it back, though, because this guy's got to fight with Canelo. Why is he going to wait
just
for
to kill
Charlo?
time. Yeah.
Sorry,
So
yeah,
ideally,
Fight in between, innit?
yeah. So ideally, fight Spence again at 154. He's accustomed to the weight, and then fight Charlo.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
100%. 3-time undisputed champion. Probably the only person that's ever going to do that.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's
41
what
and
I'm
0,
saying.
42 and 0 or something like that.
So that
If
again?
it will be
Yeah,
42 and 0 or
yeah.
41 and 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a matter.
Interesting. Because
And to be honest, you say he's 35, he's 36 this year. Like, he's 36.
yeah, he said in a
months.
couple months. Yeah.
36. So, like, he's 36 years old, basically. Like.
So really and truly, he's not. Ideally, he's probably got 2 more years.
Yeah, not
So
a spring chicken.
and that's
is
2 fights essentially. Really, a lot of people saying Spence shouldn't fight again this year. He's saying it back in December, run it back.
He wants to December, yeah, man. But he knows his body. I'm saying, look, I'm just saying. I mean, in the UK, a fight like that, you probably be under suspension for about 60 days until you recover.
I think it is something 30.
Is it 60?
Yeah, it's 30 days, 60
something
days,
days,
depending
yeah.
on how.
What, depending on how bad the beating was.
Basically, yeah. I don't know how it runs in America and with their governing bodies.
All right. So before we end it, clearly Crawford is pound for pound number 1. Who would you guys put to finish your fight, to make your top 5?
I kind of hate this top 5 question because it's so hard, but nah, you can go first. Actually.
Cheers.
Stakes you
So I got Crawford.
Yeah.
In no particular order, I got Crawford. I got Usyk.
Order.
I got
Order
Usyk.
makes sense, bro. You gotta
All right,
go
cool.
in a
I got Usyk.
Cool.
I got Inoue. I even want to say Fury. I even want to say Fury. So, fam, shut up, man.
End your list.
Gee.
And I want to say number 5.
Stop it.
I want to say Bivol.
Okay, I like that one.
Yeah.
Listen, before I say mine, I
Fam,
do
just
not agree.
say the 5, man.
with
Don't worry about what
heavyweights.
anyone else is thinking.
I don't agree with heavyweights being the pound list
Why is that though?
because they don't have the opportunity to go up and down weight classes and win weights and win belts in multiple weight classes. And yeah, Usyk, but Usyk was a cruiserweight, and he
But that's not how you measure pound for pound.
I don't care. That's how I measure it.
I should just.
You have to do it more than one weight class or be undisputed.
Well, Usyk
Tyson
went from
Fury's neither.
Usyk went from
Tyson
cruiserweight,
Fury's
but
neither.
okay, go on,
Tyson
go on,
Fury's
go on,
neither.
go on.
Usyk, yes, Usyk
Yeah,
can be in there.
okay,
Sorry,
yeah.
Usyk can be in there because he's done it in 2 weight classes.
Yeah, alright.
Fury can't. Fury's one of the best heavyweights in the world. Stylistically, he's the best heavyweight in the world. But I won't put him pound list. That's my opinion. And if he is, not top 5.
Okay, so answer the question. Who did you put in your top 5 before you
Crawford
just pick
number
apart
1.
my team?
Inoue number 2.
Yeah.
It's techie though. I'll probably go Usyk number 3. Trying to think of what else is out there. Usyk number 3. I've only got a top 3, bruv. I mean, you would put Canelo in there, but based on form, it's like
I don't know.
it's kind of hard, isn't it? But like career-wise, you would. But it's like based on form,
His last 2 fights.
I mean, I don't see him going in there. Yeah, he's wearing down.
It's nuts to not even have him in there, but yeah.
Yeah, I think you just put him in there because it's the obvious. This is like how Ring Magazine keep putting Lomachenko in there, and he doesn't deserve to be. But I don't want to say Canelo, but I like Canelo. So let's say Crawford, Inoue, Usyk. Yeah. But that's not by force, man. There's no top 5, bruv.
Man gave a
Man took 2 minutes to give out 4 names.
No one good enough.
Say a thing. Say a thing.
Yeah,
It's hard. It's hard. It is hard.
Yeah, it's hard, man.
I wouldn't even necessarily say, I don't know, you might think. But that Spence is going to be knocked completely off the list because of that loss either.
He won't be in top 5 though.
Yeah. But that goes back to the thing with Canelo about current form and stuff,
You got guys, I mean, you got undisputed champions. It's kind of hard to not put them on the list, but At the same time,
But like Charlo,
those three guys that sorry to cut you, but those three guys I've named, I've done it in more than one weight class. That's why I put it in there.
Okay.
And that's why.
but the reason I wouldn't put Charlo in there personally is even though he's undisputed or unified or whatever, I just pound for pound like skills and everything I just don't actually really think
that's what comes into
top
it.
10.
Yeah.
They're both
the top 10. Yeah.
But, I mean, top 5 is hard, man. Like,
Some people put Tank in there, to be fair.
I mean,
but again, Tank has not done what Errol's done, what Crawford has done. He's not had them fights. He's just super exciting. Do you know,
Tank's top 10, not top 5. But I don't have a top 5 on
Throw a
the
span in the works. Would you put Tio in there now after the win over Josh Taylor?
Nah, not yet.
No.
That's 2 big scalps on his
Top
record,
10.
though.
Yeah, no, for sure.
No, that's what I'm saying. Top 10. Would you put him in your
You
top
just
10
filled
now?
out your whole top 10, but you put in another 4 guys, by the way. You put Tank, you put Haney, which is
not top
calm.
10. I've
Which is
said 3
calm.
plus 4, that's
No, but
7.
I'm saying you can't just keep putting guys in top 10 because you
no,
got like
top
one
10,
more
but
space.
There's
Do you know what
1,
I'm
2,
saying?
3, and the rest are wherever, fam. There's
Okay,
the
cool,
gap
cool.
between 3 and the rest are wherever, fam.
No, I would have put Tio in there. What's your top 5?
In the top 10.
Then top 5.
Yeah, no, way top
No,
5.
not top 5. He's still got a lot to prove. My top 5, obviously Crawford.
Yeah.
Usyk for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
In New Way, I'm only a recent fan because I don't know what it is. I think with them man at the smaller weights, it takes a while for me to really process. the thing
I was
they're
like
doing.
that, but after his performance, and
Yeah,
Way's
not-
in there, bro.
Yeah.
That
Now
guy's
he's in
smoky.
there.
He's fire.
The way
bro.
what he done to Fulton was nuts.
Yeah.
So that's why he's in there. He's now 3rd. Bivol for me and Bertobiev.
Okay, I like Bivol, but he's only won 1 title.
Yeah, but in terms of
And-
his ability
Ability.
and what he done to Canelo,
His ability is.
he has to be in top 5.
Yeah. No.
See, this is what
proper.
I'm saying, though, man. It's Canelo, but Canelo's never will be a 175 pounder, bro.
Yeah, but
Canelo's
okay.
best weight was 154, 160.
But that doesn't
Even at 168,
completely take away
What
all
Bivol done
Bivol's
to him.
brownie points, what he did to
Exactly.
him. So.
It does for me still.
But I hear you on the pound
he
for
did
pound
batter
thing.
him up, but bro, you battered up a little kid.
All right, check this though.
Sorry,
If
not
he-
little
if-
kid, but
if
a
he-
smaller
if-
guy.
I
It's
hear
like
you.
Spence and Mike Garcia. If I can't give Mike
Yeah,
Garcia
yeah.
to Spence, I can't give
Yeah,
Canelo
yeah.
to.
I hear
It's just
it.
because that is
Fair.
Canelo.
I
innit?
hear it.
All right, cool. But if they rematch at super middle and he cleans up and beats him,
Oh,
then-
100% you're a G. That's it, done. But you've done that
so-
2 weights. You've done that. That's
Okay,
your pound
yeah,
for pound.
true,
Pound
true,
for pound is
true.
like. You
It's-
feel
it's
me?
double- it's multiple.
You're up
Okay,
and down.
cool.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're
I
doing
hear
it.
that. I hear that.
So I do like Bivol. I like his style. Stylistically, Bivol goes in there still. I like Bivol still.
Yeah, there's many obviously factors that
I mean, Bivol and
pile
Bertobiev,
into
yeah, exactly,
what makes somebody
exactly.
pound for pound.
You got the eye test. You got
Yeah,
the
yeah,
achievements.
yeah,
You got
yeah.
more than one weight class, not undisputed.
Yeah.
But I mean, or just like cleaning out top names. Like,
Yeah.
feel me? So like, Bivol and Bertobiev fight, and one of them can get that spot. Feel me? I think they need to fight to get that spot. But I think people are just giving out pound for pound names nowadays because it's like you just want to fill out your top 10.
It just sounds
I think the
nice.
2 that I definitely think is got to be Usyk and Crawford.
No, and the new way, bro. Don't
Sorry.
forget about the new way.
But
Top
the
three,
3.
top
But
three.
they were my top 3 to be
Yeah,
fair.
top three,
Yeah, they were my top 3.
100% top 3.
All right.
Other than that, yeah.
Well, there you have it, boxing fans. We changed it up now. We've got a bit of guests now. I want to give a big shout out to Denzel for coming on. Ellis, Zorro. Make sure you check out their social media handles. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. So we're in Fish Fly with Big Nige, and we're out.
No limits, no frauds, no fakes, no gimmicks.